another episode of Classic Dallas Cowboys Talk. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Amen. So let us get into it. So, Jim Jeffcoat once had a saying. Jim Jeffcoat had his saying about the Cowboys when they went to training camp for the 1991 season. Jim Jeffcoat said, we weren't worried about what was happening in Philadelphia, New York, or DC. All we were concerned about was how can we get better here? Okay. And so when I see Cowboy fans complaining about Deebo Samuel going to the Washington Redskins, okay, because I saw all that. I saw all that this week. Yeah, Deebo Samuel going to the Washington Redskins. My first thought was, okay, for the past couple of years he's been injured. He's fat. He was out of shape last year, and not only that, he also pushed one of his teammates last year, and so Cowboy fans were freaking out about that. And my response to that was, the guy's injury prone. He's out of shape. And he doesn't have a good attitude. And he doesn't have a good attitude. Okay? So, some Cowboy fans are freaking out. Some Cowboy fans shrugged their shoulders like, yeah, whatever. So much that Deebo Samuel's out of shape. So much so that Antonio Brown, somebody I follow on X, Antonio Brown said he looks like Brian from Family Guy. In other words, what he's saying is, AB was saying what I was saying. Deebo Samuel is fat and out of shape. Okay, so maybe we should. Jim Jeffcoat was saying back in 1991, maybe we should apply it to today. We're not worried about what is going on in Washington, New York, or Philadelphia. All we were concerned about was how can we get better here. Okay, so maybe we ought to think about that before we start looking at other teams' moves in the division or around the league for that matter. So, Bob Hayes was a track star, won an Olympic gold medal, and also won a Super Bowl championship with the Cowboys, fastest man in the league. Mentored Drew Pearson. Okay. He and Pearson were teammates in Bob Hayes' last season, 1973. Okay. And so the Cowboys drafted another gold medal sprinter, future gold medal sprinter, Carl Lewis. Yes, Carl Lewis was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Carl Lewis was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the 12th round of the 1984 draft, but he never played. Okay, so he never ever played for the Dallas Cowboys, but obviously the Cowboys thinking, Bob Hayes, hey, we can draft Carl Lewis in the 12th round. He may come, he may not come. He never showed, but yeah. Carl Lewis was drafted in the 12th round by the Dallas Cowboys. Lewis was a track and field star who specialized in the long jump and sprints. He had no college football experience and no plans to play in the NFL. The Cowboys drafted Lewis as a wide receiver in the hopes of converting him to the position. The Cowboys hoped Lewis would follow in the footsteps of Bob Hayes, a former track star, who played wide receiver for the Cowboys from 1964 to 1974. Okay, so I was off by a year. Okay, I was off by a year. Played with Drew Pearson for 2 years. Um, so yeah, yeah. So they took a 12th rounder on Carl Lewis, but he never showed. So, but just goes to show you how good of an athlete Carl Lewis was. Because not only that, he was drafted by the Chicago Bulls too. Think about it. Yeah, Carl Lewis was also drafted by the Chicago Bulls in the 10th round of the 1984 draft, but never played pro basketball. Carl Lewis was just that good of a athlete, just that good that the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bulls thought that much to say, hey, yeah, yeah. So, Jimmy Johnson retired from Fox Sports this week, and a salute to Coach Johnson. Enjoy your retirement. Um, you know, I was thinking about the 1994 NFC Championship game, okay? And I was watching that documentary, Deep Blue. I was watching that documentary on Barry Switzer, Deep Blue. Um, and um, and I think it was safe to say that Barry Switzer never saw eye to eye with Dale Hansen or Randy Galloway. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Barry Switzer never was, never was, never liked Dale Hansen or Randy Galloway because as our former PER guy, what Rich Hempel said. Rich Hempel said Barry Switzer kept score. Believe it or not, yes, Barry Switzer kept score. Barry Switzer kept score of who were the good guys and who were the bad guys. Okay. Just ask Rich Hempel. He'll tell you. Barry Switzer kept score. So Barry Switzer had a quote list. So, yeah, so when the Cowboys lost that game 38-28, Randy Galloway was talking about it. Okay. He said it wasn't that the Cowboys lost the game. It was more of a thinking of if Jimmy were here, would this have happened? Okay. Yeah, so as some player said, Barry Switzer wasn't coaching the Dallas Cowboys. He was coaching against that big, huge shadow that had just left Dallas earlier that summer, and Jimmy Johnson. Okay. So Barry Switzer was coaching against the shadow of Jimmy Johnson. Okay. And ironically, Jimmy Johnson was coaching his first couple of years. Jimmy Johnson was coaching against the shadow of Tom Landry. Okay. So, but he did lead us to a Super Bowl, though. So, Barry Switzer did win the Super Bowl with that team. So, and so the saying was that people had was, Barry, you won with Jimmy's guys. And then Barry Switzer would have said, yeah, I'm with them. I also lost with him too. So yeah. So that huge shadow of Jimmy Johnson is what Barry Switzer was coaching against when Jimmy Johnson left. Also want to talk about. I know this is a tough thing to talk about, but the 2007 divisional playoff against the New York Giants. Okay. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That is a tough one because of what happened the previous year against Seattle. And so I remember that Friday. I was at work that Friday night. And people who were not fans of the Cowboys, they were saying, "Man, I can't wait till y'all lose." And I'm thinking to myself, man, boy, whatever. So I watched the game, and it goes down to the wire, and I'm watching the game, crossing my fingers. I'm watching the game, crossing my fingers like this. I'm like this, watching Romo on that final drive versus the Giants, crossing my fingers like this. He throws an interception. Oh, God. He throws an interception, game is over. I threw my controller down on the ground as hard as I could. I went, did like this. That was me when we lost in 2007 to the Giants. Because it was supposed to be us and the Packers in the NFC Championship game. Okay. It was supposed to be us and the Packers in the NFC Championship game. And it was supposed to be New England versus Dallas in the Super Bowl. And Tony Romo said years later, that was an unfortunate loss because that was probably the best team we had to get to the Super Bowl. Now, I would probably kind of argue 2014, which will forever be one of my favorite seasons. 2014 and 2016, two of my favorite teams of all time. I would say 2014 is more painful because of the way it ended. Okay. So which loss is worse, 2007 or 2014? I would pretty much say that is a toss-up. Okay. That was toss-up. So, yeah. Do y'all follow Scooter Magruder? Okay. Do y'all follow Scooter Magruder? He's a Dallas Cowboys fan who makes cowboy reaction videos after every game. And Scooter Magruder, he is comic relief, okay? Scooter Magruder is often kind of the guy who makes us laugh when we lose. He kind of makes us laugh. He makes reaction videos when we win and when we lose. And so he's kind of comic relief. So we can have like a humorous view of the loss and the win. Okay, so Scooter Magruder, he's one of my favorite guys because he's comic relief. Scooter Magruder is comic relief. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I can remember some bad losses that we had. I remember the Christmas Day game. I believe in the 2010 season, we played Arizona. We had scored late. And I can't remember the kicker's name. I think his name was David Bueller. I think was his name, and he missed a field goal. But it seemed like we had the game wrapped up because DeMarcus Ware had a sack. DeMarcus Ware sacked whoever was quarterback in the Cardinals at that time. But then the Cardinals converted, and they ended up winning the game. And I remember somebody coming in, and asking me, Sean, what's up? I'm looking like, what's up? He's like, what's up? I was still trying to process how David Buehler missed that field goal. Okay. I was still trying to process how David Buehler missed that field goal. Because it was like when he missed that field goal, it was like, WTF. Okay. Okay. And sort of like opening night 2010 against the Redskins. Okay. We had that game won. But we had a tackle by the name of Alex Beharin. We had just acquired him days earlier. This dude right here. This dude right here held Brian Orakpo. He got called for holding on Brian Orakpo that allowed Tony Romo to escape. And he threw the winning touchdown to Miles Austin. Or so we thought. Or so he thought. They called Alex Barron for holding. And he cost us the game. Which was kind of a preview which was kind of things to come during the 2010 season because Romo broke his clavicle against the Giants and there went our season. So, yeah. All right. That's it. That's all for Classic Dallas Cowboys Talk. I am Sean Farrell. I am out of here. Peace out. May God bless y'all with many blessings.